Number 7. Wonderful incarnation behavior of Sai Baba. His yogic practices, his all preservativeness and mercy, leper devotees service, master. Kapar Des plague case going to Pandaripur. Wonderful incarnation. Sai Baba knew all yogic practices. He was well versed in the processes including dhoti, stomach cleaning by a moistened piece of linen 3 inches in breadth and 27.5 inches in length. Kanda Yoga, separating his limbs and joining them again, and samadhi, etc. If you thought that he was a Hindu, he looked like a Yavan. He was thought him to be Yavan. He looked like a pious Hindu. No one definitely knew whether he was a Hindu or a Mohammedan. He celebrated the Hindu festival of Ram Navami with all due formalities, and at the same time permitted the sandal processing of the Mohammedans. He encouraged wrestling bouts in his festival. When the Gokul Ashtami came, he got the Gopal Kala ceremony duly performed, and on Eid festivals he allowed the Mohammedans to say their prayers, namaz, in his masjid. Once during a Muharram festival, some Mohammedans proposed to construct a tazia or tabut in the masjid, keep it there for some days, and afterwards take it in procession through village. Sai Baba allowed the keepings of the tabut for 4 days, and the 5th day got it removed from the masjid without the least compunction. If we say that he was a Mohammedan, his ears were pierced, had holes around to Hindu customs. If you think that he was a Hindu, he advocated the practice of circumcision through, according to Mr. Nana Sahib Chandorkar, who observed him closely, he was not himself circumcised. Wide article in Sai Leela on Baba Hindu Ki Yavan by B.V. Dev. If you call him Hindu, he always lived in the masjid. Mohammedans, he had always the Duni scared fire there, and following things which are contrary to Mohammedan religion, etc. Grinding on the hand mill, blowing of the conch and bells, oblations in fire, bhajan, giving of food, and worship of Baba's feet by means of arya, water, were allowed there. If you think that he was a Mohammedan, the best of Brahmins and Agnihotris, leaving aside their orthodox ways, fell prostrate at his feet. Those who went to make inquiries about his caste were dumbfounded and were captured by his darshan. So none could definitely decide whether Sai Baba was a Hindu or a Mohammedan. This is no wonder, for he who completely surrenders himself to the Lord by getting rid of his egoism and body consciousness, thus becomes one with him and has nothing to do with any questions of caste or nationality. Baba say no difference between any two castes and even between beings. He took meat and fish with any two castes and even between beings. He took meat. Such a unique and wonderful incarnation was Sai Baba. One accounts of the merits in my past birth. I had the good fortune to sit at his feet and enjoy his blessed company. The joy and delight I derived therefrom was incomparable. In fact, Sai Baba was pure Anand and consciousness. I cannot sufficiently describe him, his greatness and uniqueness. He who took delight as his feet was established in his own self. Many sannyasis, sadhaks, and all sorts of men aspiring for with them and always uttered Allah Malik, God is the sole owner. He never liked discussion or deputation. He was always calm and controlled, though irritable at times. Always preached Vedanta and nobody knew till the last who was Baba. Prince and poor people were treated alike by him. He knew in most secrets of all, and when he gave expression to them, all were surprised. He was the repository of all knowledge. Still he feigned ignorance. He also disliked honor. Such were the characteristics of Sai Baba. Though he had a human body, his deed testified to his godhood. All peoples considered him as the god in Sai Baba. Behavior of Sai Baba. Ignorant that I am, I cannot describe Baba's miracles. He got almost all the temples in Shirdi repaired through Tatya Patil, and temples of Sani, Ganapati, Shankar, Parvati, village duty and Maruti were put in order. His charity was also remarkable. The money he used to collect as Dakshina was freely distributed, rupees 20 to some, rupees 15 to 50 to others every day. The recipients, though, thought that this was pure charity money, and Baba wished that it should be useful employed. People benefited immensely by having Baba's darshan. Some became hale and hearty. Wicked people were turned into good. Leprosy was cured in some cases. Many got their desires fulfilled without any medicine being put in the eyes. Some blind men got back their sight, and some lame ones got their limbs. Nobody could see the end of his extraordinary greatness. His fame spread far and wide, and pilgrims from all sides flocked to Shirdi's. Baba had his ascent near the Dhuni and always rested there. He sat there in meditation, sometimes without a bath. He used to tie a small white turban on his head and wear a clean dhotars round his waist and shirt on his body. This was his attire in the beings. the first practiced medicine in the village. He examined patients and gave medicines. He was always successful and he became famous as a Hakim doctor. A curious case may be narrated here. One devotee had his eye quite red and swollen. No doctor was available in Siridi. The other devotees took him to Baba. In such cases, others doctors would use ointments, unguents, cow milk, and camphorated drugs, etc. Baba's remedy was quite unique. He pounded some biba, some carpus, anacardium, that is marking nuts, and made 2 balls of them and thrust them on in each eye of the patient and wrapped a cloth bandage round them. Next day the bandage was removed and water was pouring over them. The inflammation subsided and the pupils became white and clear. Pulps became white. Though the eyes are very delicate, the biba caused no hurt but removed the disease of the eyes. Many such cases were cured. This is only one instance in this regard.